Okay, we are sixth parak of Pirke, or what is known as sixth parak of Pirke. The other name for it is Pirke in Torah. In the middle of second Mishnah, Amar Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. Yehoshua ben Levi says, "Bechol yom vayom, every single day, bat kol yotzet mehar chorev umachrezet ve'omeret." Bat kol comes out of Har Chorev, which is Har Sinai. That's right. And he says, "Umachrezet ve'omer oy lahem leberiyot, woe to beriyot me'elbona shel Torah," from forsaking the Torah. Forsake the Torah. We have the time, we don't spend on it. Oy lahem, woe is to them. Shekol mi she'eno osek b'Torah nikra nazuf. Anybody who doesn't spend time learning Torah, doesn't spend all the time that he could learning Torah, is is considered nazuf. Is what? Repulsed, forsaken. Shenemar nezem zah b'af chazir, isha yafa v'sarat ta'am. Right. The pasuk says nezem zahar b'af chazir. One of the most repulsive things you could have is if you get something very, very nice and you put it on something disgusting. It makes it even look more disgusting.
Not anymore than today.
Right, what?
Not today anymore.
Nezem zahav, yeah. Nezem zahav ve'af chazir. You get a jewelry and you put it on a chazir.
Oink, oink.
Oink, oink. Isha yafa v'sarat ta'am. So too is a beautiful woman v'sarat ta'am, who has no understanding. So now we know, this is a pasuk in Mishle. Mishle usually, when it talks a woman, means Torah. Means Torah. Right? Eshet chayimim and tzorah chom v'penim mechra. It's talking about Torah. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Eshet chayim is all about Torah. Right? So, Mr. Achdut, you go home today, you tell your wife, you see how precious you are? The only thing compared to Torah is one's spouse. That's how precious they are. That's how great they are. Right?
Unless it's medanim.
Keep them in the safe. Huh?
Right? So, one who doesn't keep Torah, sarat tam, one doesn't have the chokhmah of Torah, is compared to nezem zahab b'af chazir, jewelry. That's what it is. We come in this world, we have a lot of things. Baruch Hashem, I have a nice house, I have a nice car, I have a nice family, wonderful things, all great things, and all in their own place are wonderful. But al yithalel ashir be'oshro, lo gibor be'gurato, ela bezot yithalel hamithalel. We have to understand, if there is anything that makes sense, if there is anything that we could say, Baruch Hashem, I'm doing something, is when we learn Torah. This is what we were created. We were created with a capacity, with a brain that has all that potential to learn, to understand, to grow. The more I grow, the more I'm doing my human thing. Has shown the less I give up the chance, the more I give up the chance and the less I know, then everything else is a jewelry in an unworthy vessel. Not worthy of it. Not worthy of the nice house and the beautiful family and that. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. Right? You give a very powerful tool to someone who doesn't know how to use it. What is it good for? What is it good for? It's unbelievable. I'm not into art so much. But you ever seen people that have no idea about art and they try to come out as sophisticated? It's ridiculous. They sound so fun. They don't know what they're. So that's why we if in our life we are not where we should be. The goal is to know more and more. Once heard Rav Vigdam Meir say, lucky is the man who goes up there and knows one daf, really knows it. One daf. And if you know 10 daf, They throw 100 daf or 1,000 daf. Right, that's what we're here for. Omer haluchot maaseh Elohim hema. Another pasuk. It says haluchot maaseh Elohim hema michtav Elohim. The 10 commandments, the 2 tablets, were the actual handiwork of Hashem, and the writing itself was also writing of Hashem. Charut alach, which was engraved. Al tikre charut ela cherut. The reason this word is used because it means free. One is truly free, one is truly aristocratic, right? If you want to be a refined, regal person, that's Torah. That's why it's cherut. True cherut comes from there. Yes.
First of all, what does it say in Bonashel Torah? What does it say in the when it says gold jewelry in the nose of a pig? Whose pig? Whose jewelry? Who's that? Or when it says a woman who's a bimbo, like not smart. Who's the woman? Who's smart? Who's this needs to.
Let's do Rashi. See how much Rashi helps us. Okay. Me'elbona shel Torah. Rashi says, Me'elbon she'olvin et Torah. The fact that they forsake Torah, she aluva. That is all alone Torah. Hashem la yaskin. Okay, that's what elbon means. Elbon means Torah has an independent reality unto itself. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to get to that in a second. That's the idea of, right, but coming out of Har Sinai. Why Har Sinai? Why should it come out of anywhere? Any other bat kol, do you know where it comes from?
No.
You know, this is the only place that it says that where the place where the bat kol emanates from.
Yeah, heavenly voice.
Usually bat kol comes, you know, Rav Chaim ben Teradion, the Roman guard was burning him. He said, if I make it faster, that you don't suffer, will I get olam haba? Yeah. So bat kol came, he says, bat kol didn't come from anywhere that we know. It's never identified where bat kol came from.
Source.
Right? This is the only place it's identified. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's do Rashi's. All right. So the point is that they forsake Torah. Torah has a reality unto itself. We don't need to make it. We just need to use it to make sure that we deal with it. Nazuf menudeh. So nazuf means that he is run out, excommunicated. Nezem zahav be'af chazir. Now, what's the point of nezem zahav be'af chazir? Jewelry on a pig. She'eno meshamero, because pig has no idea what jewelry is all about. Right? Elo olech ve'nover ba'ashpa u'mam'is. So he goes and he puts it right in the filth that he does all the time. It's not any different. Puts himself in the filth, so puts the jewelry in the filth also. Someone who recognizes, appreciates what they have, so they protect it, they take care of it. But he has no idea what it is. No idea what it is. So too, someone who does not understand the full reasoning of Torah, who ma'us is repulsed. Somebody who, doesn't do Torah the right way. Isha yafa v'salat ta'am, kilomar, mechaneh ha'beriyot b'lashon nekeva. We're talking about people b'lashon nekeva. Isha yafa she'usar devarav mita'amim shel Torah, people who are far from Torah, so Isha means people, Talmidei Chachamim, that do not have the full understanding of Torah. They're like that Chazir that had a good thing. When we have Torah, we don't keep it good, so we don't appreciate it. It's like that Chazir who has the jewelry. We also have Torah. Torah is great, but we don't understand it. We don't know it. We can't truly see the beauty of it, so we do not respect it as it should, just like the Chazir who doesn't appreciate the jewelry he's got.
What does it add in? Why do you waste my time with a new thing? I already understand Chazir.
What?
I understood the Chazir. Why is there a need to bring the Isha?
I don't know.
Valid
I
question.
don't know. Yeah. שאין לך בן חורין לפי שבן אדם מכבדים ומשמשים לפניו. Why is somebody who truly understands Torah is considered ben chorin? Because other people benefit from him. And other people need him. מי שאינו עוסק בו מתרחקים ממנו. And somebody who really doesn't know Torah, somebody who doesn't keep, somebody who has no derech eretz, people get away from him. They may superficially respect him, but in their heart of hearts, they don't like to be around him. What good does he do to us? Okay. Just this point of Bat Kol coming from Har Sinai. So number one, you see Har Sinai is an ongoing thing. Even though Torah makes a point, and perhaps that's why Torah does need to make a point. Torah makes a point that once the 40 days were over, that they could go up. Har Sinai was off limits. It was gated, surrounded, that nobody should go up Har Sinai. It's off limits. Right? It's like Kodesh HaKodeshim.
It was not.
Yeah, it says they put up a fence, it says.
Or they put that.
The Jews put up a fence. But during Ma'amad Har Sinai. Right, they put up a fence. But afterwards, it says you're allowed to. Right? It's not it's not like Kodesh HaKodeshim that nowadays we know the Kedusha is there even though the building is not there, the Kedusha is still there. It wasn't like that. But it's still, this Mishnah teaches us that something remained. There is some residual effect. Har Sinai is still, the Bat Kol comes from there. So that teaches us that Torah has a reality independent of us. Torah itself, Torah is there. It's just us trying to appreciate it. Right? The jewelry is a jewelry, regardless of who's wearing it. Is jewelry. The point is that the one who wears it, if it doesn't appreciate jewelry, is gonna solely up, waste the jewelry. But it's unbelievable. Har Sinai is still active. Now you see that these mountains, what do they call them? The volcanoes.
Active.
Right. Some of them we think they're not active. So no, they're active. They do this thermal imaging. Deep down, something is happening. We don't see it. We see some of them are active. Some of them we would call they're not active, but they're still active. Every 200 years or so, they erupt. Something is happening down there. It's churning. So it's active. Har Sinai is still active and every single day. So the Mepharshim say, by the way, any of you have heard this Bat Kol? It's happening every single day. Any of you heard? No? Nobody? I'm the only one. No, but Mepharshim say we do. It says every day, and this is really a chesed of Hashem, every day you get a little tinge of Yotzer Hatov telling you, come on, go learn.
Is it Yotzer Hatov?
This is it. That's where he hears it. Yotzer Hatov hears it and sort of pinches you a little bit. Right?
He's embarrassed.
It's like, come on. Right? Now the more we become in tune with Torah, the more this Bat Kol will wake us up. It's an unbelievable chesed Hashem does. Every single day we have an option, we have a reminder. Now the question is, how used are we to sleep through our alarm clock? Right? I know someone who slept through his alarm clock so often that one time he forgot to put on the alarm, he woke up. He woke up, like, what's happening? I'm not sleeping so soundly anymore. Right? So, right, that's really an unbelievable chesed. All right, let's continue. Shekol mi.
So we're not going to elaborate.
I don't have anything to say.
Where would we find it? Where would it be?
שכל מי שעוסק בתורה איזה מתעלה. Anybody who learns Torah will be elevated. No matter what area of life you want, you'll be elevated. Where do we know that? That's a pasuk in Torah. שנאמר וממתנה Nachliel u'menachliel bamot u'mimatana. Once Torah was given to him as matana, you should know Torah is given as matana. First, we really do not have that much connection with it. It's a gift. It's like a gift, Most times people say a gift you don't appreciate so much because you didn't work for it. U'mimatana nachliel. Then you learn it becomes nachliel, it becomes your nachala, it becomes your portion, your inheritance, your legacy. Now it's something you really are connected to. Once you come to that point, once you come to a point of making matana, making Torah that was given a Torah, nachliel, part and parcel of who you are and how you identify and how you look at the world, matana bamot. The next step is elevated. Elevated. And everything in life becomes elevated. Every single thing you see on a higher plane, totally different plane, everything. You see your children differently, your house differently, your life differently, everything is something else. Something else. Okay, Mishnah Gimel. If somebody learns from another person one perek, or halacha echad, or one halacha, or pasuk echad, or one pasuk, or dibur echad, or one idea, or afilu ot achat, or even one letter, sarich linhog b'ba'akol. You must respect him, learn from him. If we truly, right, dibur or ot, right?
Anything.
Right. See, if we truly appreciate, part of the problem is we do not see every single nuance. If we appreciate every single nuance, then every one of them taught us something. Right? Every one of them taught us something. Right? Mishnah says in beginning of beginning of Bava Metzia, Shanaim ochzim betalit. Right? So Yerushalmi discusses Shanaim, but if he was three halacha is not the same. Ochazin, Gemara says Ochazin, Gemara later in the He says Ochazin, velo adukin, because how they're holding. The word Ochazin tells us how it was holding, and if they were all holding it differently, halacha would be different. Betalit, Gemara later in the Avoth says what about if it was a horse? It was an animal. It's different. Right? Zomer shali, kula shali, zomer kula shali. Gemara discusses why do you have to say that. Right? So every word of this Mishnah is a volume unto itself. The truth of the matter is, every Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, halachot would have taken much more. Like you see, Rambam tried to write halachot is much bigger, and they wanted the Mishnah to be compact. So he included many halachot within one halacha. So if you appreciate every word, if you appreciate that every word is teaching you halacha, you're never going to forget it. You're never going to forget it. It makes a difference. If we appreciate that there is a difference, we're not going to forget it. We don't pick up on things because we don't see what was said, right? So therefore, a dibur achad, one letter, if we truly get it, so he taught you something. One letter, that letter makes a difference. Now, if you learned it, if not, what did he teach you? Nothing, because you really didn't get it. Rabbi Zweig said that. But he was making a point that we should expect from our children according to their abilities. So he said when he was young, he would ask his children were like 11, 12, 13, he would tell them if they knew the whole parsha by heart, he would test them on Shabbat. They knew everything that he says in the parsha. So on Motzei Shabbat he would give him a quarter. Used to be quarter was money. So he said later he was telling us that later he decided that was such a big avla, because not every kid is the same. So one of my kids, as far as memory, was like almost photographic. He would go over the parsha once and would remember everything. The other kid was strong in other suits, but memory was not one of the strongest. So it's not fair to So whatever. So I was saying he then later he custom made it each one according to his ability. That was the point he was trying to make. But he said just to show you the difference in them. So I asked one of them, the one with the less strong memory. He says, what's Parashat Mishpatim? What's the halacha of a mechashefa, of a witch? He says, you kill him, you kill her, you kill her. He says, correct. So the other kid, the one with the good memory, says, no, he's wrong. He says, what do you mean he's wrong? That's what Torah says. Torah says you kill him. He says, no, that's not what Torah says. Torah says you don't let him live. Mechashefa lo techayeh. And mechashefa, which is said different than all the other cases of Torah. It doesn't say motu. It says lo techayeh. You don't let him live. Right? Amazing. See, so Torah said it different. Obviously, Torah is teaching us something. But the point I'm trying to say, you could look at Mefarsh, you could look at Ramban, whatever, and they explain to you what it means. Lo techayeh means that, but you never pick it up unless you're aware that this terminology is different than the rest of Torah. You never have what Ramban is trying to tell you. You have to pick up on it to appreciate it. So that's what this Mishnah is saying. Even on ot achat, you realize one letter. Why is it like this? What's going on? So then you have to show appreciation. You're mechuyab. You're obligated. Wait, it says sarich. You must give him the respect that he deserves for teaching you. That is my idea. Sheken matzino v'david melech Israel. Sholaman Achitofel Hashanah. David melech Israel just learned two things from Achitofel. Besides the fact that Achitofel, embarrassed him and hurt him so much, but still he taught him two things. Two things. Kirao Rabbo Elufo Miyudao. Nothing else was at the forefront of his mind. Just picture this: somebody who is bothering you day in, day out, embarrasses you, especially in front of people, breaks you.
Bagadbo.
Day in, day out, he does it. And then also, he taught you some Torah.
He was his rabbi?
Only two things he taught him. Only two things. So the forefront of his mind, David, was, wow, he taught me Torah. That's how he looked at the person. He taught me two things that I didn't know. That tells us how much he cared for knowing another piece of knowledge, another information, some more Torah. It fell by the wayside. His first reaction, they said, Achitofel. Oh, Achitofel. That's what he remembered. That's how he felt good. Yeah, all those pains also. But that was secondary by him. Day in, day out. Did not compare to the two things that he learned. So when he talks about Achitofel, he says, Rabbo, my master, Alufo, the one who knows better than me, Miyud'o, the one who keeps me informed. Such a person of high level, Meyudai, right? More knowledgeable than me. So let's come and make a Kal Vachomer. If David, who is also a king, David himself is a king, so that means everybody else owes him respect anyways. אלא דבר אחד. Karo Rabbo calls him my master, Alufo Miyoda'o, right? The one who knows more, and the one who taught me. הלומד מחברו פרק אחד והלכה אחד, ופסוק אחד ואפילו את חסוסו, he learns from another one perek, or one halacha, or one pasuk, or even one letter, הנחת כמה וכמה שצריך לנהוג בו כבוד. ואין כבוד אלא תורה. Rashi learns that this means there is no respect, but nobody is deserving of respect as much as Torah. No other thing deserves respect as much as Torah. Shneimar kavod chachamim yinchalu. Respect was given to chachamim. Utmimim yinchalu tov. And tmimim and perfect people, they are the ones who get tov. Now, what is tov?
What is a linhok? צריך ליתן לו.
No, kavod is linhog. Kavod is linhog. Kavod, you cannot pretend. See, kavod has to be real, has to come from inside. See, David HaMelech, again, think about this. It's not easy. Imagine someone who really, really pained you, but David HaMelech didn't feel like that towards Achitophel. The first thing in his mind, that's how much he loved Torah. The first thing imagine somebody, right? You have a neighbor, always gives you a hard time over, why are your kids loud, this and that. Then something happens, and he saves our life. So that's, from now on, that's how you look at it. He saved your life. You don't look at it, he screamed at me when the kids were loud. That takes much more precedence in your mind.
Right.
In David HaMelech's mind, when he said Achitophel, this way it was, Alufim, Yudai, Ish Ke'erki. He taught me Torah. That's life. He saved my life. All the other embarrassments, putting him down in front of other, Gemara Brachot. He purposely put him down in front of Sanhedrin. Put him down. Those things was not the first thing that came to David's mind when he thought of Achitophel. So it's not, he wasn't just giving respect. He was truly, his conduct, his inner feeling was like that. That's how he felt. That's how he felt towards Achitophel. He felt respect for the fact that he taught me Torah. He saved my life. I owe him my Torah. And that's life. That's greater than life. That's greater than life. Okay. שנאמר, כי לך אחתום נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזובו. So, what do חכמים say on this pasuk? כי לך אחתום נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזובו.
It's a good thing.
Right? See, value in this world could be one of the three things. You have something that is valuable to you. What are the three things? First of all, it's intrinsically valuable. You have a rare diamond, you have a very expensive car, these things, yes, it's of value. So it's valuable to you because intrinsically is of high value. That's one type of value. There is another value. People value things that are useful to them. Useful to them. You go to a plumber, you say, I'm going to buy you a wrench twice its price. It probably is not going to sell it to you. Because I could go to Home Depot and pick up another one, but I need it every minute. I don't let go of it. Tools of the trade, they're called. Tools of the trade. You don't go out. You don't leave the house without it. I'm just handicapped without it. It's tools of the trade, right? Any one of us, take our cell phone. It's not the $400 that an iPhone costs. I use the old one. I don't have an iPhone, but anyways, $800. This is tools of trade. It can't function. We are at a time in the world now that we cannot function without a cell phone. So the value is not intrinsic in the price. The value that we put on it is not the few $100. The value we put on it is these tools of the trade. Then there is the third value is what? Sentimental value. This pen is worth 50 cents. But to me it's so precious because my father gave me, it's my grandmother's, whatever the case may be. It has sentimental value. Right? So when it comes to Torah, right? It says, Ki lekach tov. Torah itself intrinsically is of high value. It's so, right? It's of high value.
How do you read it? Lekach means intrinsic.
Lekach tov. It's tov. It's tov. It says, Natati lachem, I gave it to you. It answers your questions. It deals with your issues. It's tools of the trade for you. It's Natati lachem. It's for you. It is useful to you. So Torah is valuable on that front too. But ultimately, Torati, the sentimental value is Hashem's. I mean, could you imagine? It's Hashem's Torah you're reading. And And Baruch Hashem, we get used to it. Sometimes we don't even, you know what we're doing right now? Torati Alta is Hashem's Torah. The sentimental value that it has, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I remember Moshe Aaron Stern, Zecher Tzaddik Yiracha, he said that he was asked by Brisker Rav to join a minyan. Brisker Rav had a minyan in Yerushalayim for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and it was a very special minyan. Took a long time, and some of the biggest tzaddikim of Yerushalayim davened in that minyan. So he was asked to join a Moshe Aaron Stern. Right? It was an important thing to be given an invitation to such a minyan. So Moshe Aaron Stern accepted with a condition. Like any of us would have ran to such a minyan. So I accept with one condition. If you fulfill one condition, I'll come. Otherwise, I won't come. So I'll tell you what does gadlut mean. So what is your condition? The condition is that you have at least 2 kohanim in the minyan. At least 2 kohanim in the minyan. Because since imagine on the big mekubalim, big admorim, like really top-notch people come and you have a chance to get a bracha from them. What will we do? The Ger Rebbe, Baba Sali, this type of people. What would we do to get a bracha from them? You would go to any lengths to get a bracha. Yet here is, Hashem said, V'ani avarachem. You do the mitzvah of Duchan, the Kohanim give the blessing, the Yisrael standard according to halacha. V'ani Hashem himself is the one who's giving bracha. I mean, what more could you ask for? If you have 2 Kohanim, is the Oraita, 1 Kohen is the Rabbana. Right? If you have 2 Kohanim, so how could I give that up? Right? V'ani avorachem, it's Hashem himself. When we learn Torah, Torati al ta'azovu, it's Hashem's very own Torah. As far as that sentimental value, it's really on a very, very high plane. So ki lekachto natati lachem Torati al ta'azovu.